So, hi everyone, to today's live stream from the festival Bike. My name is Sasha Calin and I play first oboe in the Mozart Orchestra. And today I'm being driven by a reckless chief conductor who is...
I am Roberto González-Monjas, and yeah, this is definitely the most entertaining interview I've ever done.
You say that now.
Trying to go with a bike and turn with this huge cart.
But at
How
least...
do you feel, Sasha? Is this safe for you?
On a scale of 0 to 10, maybe 3 at the moment, because a large bus has just come by. But so unusually, we're not in the centre of town, we're actually taking you on a new route today, which I thought was going to be very sort of, oh God, there are people coming out the bike.
Oops.
Sorry. I thought it was going to be scenic and country-esque, but we're just coming past a large bus stop. But anyway, we're taking on a new route through a lovely park today.
Yeah.
Roberto's just had the first rehearsal for our Mozart matinee concert. How was it?
Well, it was wonderful. We did the first rehearsal for Mozart's 39th Symphony.
Without oboes,
And,
that's why I was not in it.
Oh,
Hello?
yeah. And yes, lovely. We have a wonderful program. It revolves around Mozart's Freemason music and in a way all those values of enlightenment. And we started with Mozart's 39th Symphony, which is a very famous symphony, although you don't play because there's no oboes, correct?
Was that intentional on your part?
Sorry?
Was that intentional?
No, it wasn't intentional.
No, okay, well, that's good. You have it
No,
live.
it's one of those symphonies which one needs to include if one speaks about Mozart's Freemason music. And yeah, it was extraordinary. It's always so nice to reunite with the orchestra. You know, this is one of the best feelings after a whole year of being together as orchestra and chief conductor. It's very special.
And the last time we played together was good job, the Alpen Symphony von Strauss, and that's one thing I love about being in the Mozart Orchestra, that we have this amazing contrast in repertoire.
Yeah. Listen, I wanted to ask you, how did you get to Salzburg? Because in Salzburg there's really a lot of people that have studied at the Mozarteum Orchestra, at the Mozarteum University, for example. How did you make your way? How did you get to be at the Mozarteum Orchestra?
So I studied in England, and then my teacher told me you've got to go to Germany. I'm aware that we're in Austria, but this is the long story. So I studied 1 year in Leipzig, and I started learning German very slowly, and then I went to the Orchestra Academy of the Zurich Opera House.
All right.
And then this job came up, and I actually went for it. Didn't get it, came second.
Oh, wow.
And then went for it again the next year when it came up again, and then I got it. So when you leave England, or at least for me, it was sort of immediately obvious that actually I would love to have this experience in Europe as well. So that happened 15 years ago. So it's been a while. And you came through Switzerland as well?
Well, although I studied
still
here,
there.
I did study here in the Mozarteum. It's funny because my very first remembrance of the orchestra was as a student. I just came to a concert, basically. And I remember, professional orchestras looked like such a faraway thing. It was extraordinary in a way. I always thought, well, will I actually be able to make it as a professional musician? I was so insecure about it. And the fact that, now I'm here with you guys, it's quite special in a way,
Come full circle.
Exactly. And I remember how nervous I was the very first time I came to conduct the orchestra, thinking,
Which was when?
It was 2019.
Right. 1
year before COVID, before everything somehow changed. And it was love at first sight. It was special. I don't think you were playing.
No, I wasn't. Each other. But I loved you despite the fact that I was sitting at home.
I
felt
remember.
it.
And okay, let's try this now.
Oh, this is a hard turn.
This is quite a hard bit.
And can I, after this maneuver, can I ask you?
Yes.
So, wow.
There we go.
Very well done. So Roberto is a violinist and a conductor, and I say that very specifically, both, maybe, I don't know if you'd say in equal measure, but you're not a violinist turned conductor, you're not a conductor who sort of occasionally plays the violin. It feels really a joint venture.
Yeah, in a way, yes.
How did that come about? Like at what point as a violinist did you think, well, actually I'd also like to stand at the front and look at the orchestra?
It's a good question. It's funny because I was told by many people, you are a conductor, you are a conductor. I remember
from the beginning.
The late Colin Davis saw me leading the second violins at the Gustav Mahler Youth Orchestra, and he told me, you are going to be a conductor.
And
which I didn't believe at the time.
You were surprised?
Because I guess I always had this, how do you say, vertical perspective of music, not just the horizontal part.
Right.
And I always loved to understand, why are instruments combined like this, and why is harmony so important? So I think my mindset was always as a conductor
from
in a way.
school.
But it took a long time to realize that. I started leading a lot from the violin, which was really a great school.
Yeah.
But actually my first professional engagements as a conductor were 2018, 2019. So it's pretty recent, I have to
Gosh,
say.
you're very good for that.
Well, I don't know, but it's one of those things that is one of those surprises that life reserves for you. And I'm so glad, because I feel like I'm having a second life,
Right.
And it's lovely. And you and I have also played. I mean, you remember we did also Bach double concerto.
did.
So we know each other quite well, not just
also musically.
personally,
Not just
but
on
also
a bike.
Yeah, exactly. So Sasha, let's tell a little bit the audience about what the Mozarteum Orchestra does, because everybody, I think, knows the name of the Mozarteum Orchestra. Everybody knows we do the Mozart matinee, but the orchestra works so much all the time. There's can you explain a little bit? Because
and
your
actually
life is extraordinary.
This is very specifically a goal, very important for me coming from England, to tell the audience, God, there's a big hill. I thought I ate cake last night.
Oh, that's all right.
So from coming from England, everyone thinks the Mozarteum Orchestra is a chamber orchestra, like a Mozart size. And it's simply not. We have members in the 90s, so I think we're 92, 93 at the moment, with a few vacant positions. So we really do everything from Bach to Hindemith and really contemporary music, but all of the big stuff, as I mentioned, Alpine Symphony. So we are basically a sort of a double Mozart orchestra, which enables us to perform in Salzburg, but also to go on tour at the same time. We're also the orchestra of the Opera House, so we're playing operas the whole time, musicals. So I think on paper it's one of the most diverse orchestras that I've ever come across. And I personally love that about our work, because we can on one evening we're playing Sound of Music, and on the other evening we're playing Mozart 40, and then the next week we might be doing Shostakovich 10. So we really get everything. But really important to make that point that the Mozarteum Orchestra is not the a group of 40 musicians. It's
one of the things that I love really today, this morning at rehearsal, I was feeling very lucky again. This idea of the fact, it's so intelligent, such an intelligent ensemble with such a Mozart experience as well.
Yeah.
So you guys play Mozart all the time. I mean, this summer, for example, there's 4 Mozart matinee, double concerts plus a Mozart soirée.
Yeah.
What does it mean for you to to have such Mozart perspective? Because after all, it's it's this extraordinary chance to get to know Mozart like almost no other orchestra in the world, I would say.
Yeah, you really,
Sorry, I need to do
good
something
emergency
here.
stop.
This very nice man.
You totally embed yourself into the musical world of Mozart when you really play as often as we do. And it's certainly one composer that if you give me a Mozart symphony or piano concerto or violin concerto every week, I couldn't be happier.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm not sure that could be true for almost any other composer. I think you probably get to a point where, okay, I'd like a change, maybe other than Bach.
There's one thing that I would love to ask you as an orchestra, member of the orchestra.
Yeah.
Because many people think, well, Mozarteum Orchestra, you guys have a sound and a style, and what does a conductor then contribute, or a soloist? But my experience, at least, is that you guys are so hungry for new ideas and new ways to see Mozart. Is that the case? How do you see it as,
100%, because a lot of our repertoire is repeated. So I think I've probably played Jupiter 30 times in 15 years.
Yeah.
So of course, actually, yes, I would have an idea of how I would want to play it if I was sitting on my own at home. But I'm so happy to have input from the conductor or violinist if led from the violin, just to keep it all fresh, because otherwise we're sort of recycling. And I think it's the most interesting concerts for me are the concerts where we come totally away from our what we call autopilot, so autopilot, where of course we can deliver Mozart without a conductor, but to be given a new sort of lens through which to see it musically is so interesting for us. And I think really I think that would apply to almost all of my colleagues.
Yeah.
That they're all eager to find a new viewpoint.
I find it so refreshing because, you know, making Mozart for me, and I think for many of my colleagues as well, it does mean reinventing yourself and trying to understand better every time what he meant, how he was. And I have the feeling that with you guys, it's so easy, and there's so much hunger for finding new ways and new perspectives. And you know, today in the rehearsal, I mentioned some connections between the Magic Flute and the 39th Symphony, and many colleagues came and said, thank you for telling us that. That's a new inspiration.
Absolutely.
And maybe it will be different next year, but it's this idea of always being ready and open it's extraordinary. I love it.
You've also got us after a 5-week holiday.
Oh yeah,
That
does help. Listen, one more question about the Salzburg Festival, actually, because I do think it's quite extraordinary. You know, yesterday I was listening to the Mitridate, which was a wonderful performance, and you know, one realizes there's so many concerts. I mean, you could never listen to every single concert at the Salzburg Festival. There's so many things going on at the same time.
Yeah.
Do you have the time during the festival to actually enjoy other things than our concerts? And how is it? How do you feel Salzburg is when it becomes this kind of capital of the world when it comes to classical music?
I think to answer your question, musically, I barely go to anything, purely because if you're playing so much yourself, for me to find my balance in my life, it's generally the need is then non-musical. So
I totally understand.
whether it's jumping in the Amkanal or going to Fuschelsee or just cooking nice
which is
meals.
extraordinary for all our viewers. If you haven't done it, you also have to do that.
Yeah, they're warning you of a break.
I have seen it, no worries. This might be the point where we have an accident for the first time at
we
this
did
channel,
talk about
so
whether
bear
I
with
should,
us.
We talked about whether I should wear a helmet.
Sasha, you should have brought a helmet. No, it's going to be fine.
I showed the trust that I should in our chief conductor.
I'm being very conservative.
Can I ask you a question?
Please.
I'm not trying to suck up here, but you are a beautiful violinist, an extraordinary conductor. You speak however many languages. You're quite a nice guy. Can you give me one thing that you do absolutely terribly, like you're really bad at?
I'm a horrible dancer.
Great.
It's funny because when I'm on stage, many people say you should be a dancer, but in fact, if you actually ask me to dance, you know, I didn't even dance I did dance, but reluctantly in my own wedding, you know.
Yeah.
So
was it a choreographed dance?
No. Oh God.
Did you just say your one wedding? Like there might be more?
No.
Okay.
Please,
Oh,
no.
sorry.
That is my only wedding. No. The funny part is I don't know. I feel very self-conscious about it, which I don't when I'm on stage. So maybe it's just has something to do with a childhood trauma. I don't know. But I definitely don't dance, and there's many things I really don't do well. I'm not a very spontaneous person. That's the funny part.
No.
Yeah. You.
But look at us.
Yeah. Well, you know, this is going out of my comfort zone. But I guess music has brought me out of my comfort zone very much indeed.
But for example, the concerts we do where you moderate, you speak to the audience, you're very spontaneous.
Yeah, but I do prepare these very much.
You're
you know,
very good,
I like to be sure that whenever I speak and whenever I talk about music, I'm prepared.
Right.
I don't like it being out of control, and you know, it's. I feel too much respect for the audience. You know what I mean?
Framework of where you'll like to go, but
yeah.
Well, it always seems very free.
Yeah, it's interesting. Well, thank you for saying that.
Pleasure.
Listen, I wanted to ask you, do you have some highlights? I mean, you've been, how many years? You said 14 years with the Mozarteum Orchestra?
15.
15?
Season, yeah. Highlight.
I'm sure there's highlights, maybe lowlights as well.
Oh, no.
Can you speak about a couple moments that were significant for you?
Maybe also because it's fresh in my mind, but the Alpen Symphony, which I seem to have mentioned 3 times now, was a huge highlight, because also it doesn't come that often in our season that we play such a big repertoire. And of course, because I share my position, then my colleague will also play half of the Sonntags matinee concert, which is what I'm talking about when we play big repertoire in the Festspielen house.
Yeah.
So that was a huge highlight. Also, funny little ones, like I remember on tour once with Ivor Bolton in Japan.
Wow.
We were playing a concert, unluckily on the day of a cyclone in Tokyo.
Oh.
And it was touch and go whether we would play at all. And then I remember the concert did go ahead, and we played in it's one of these beautiful concert halls, huge concert halls in Tokyo, and about 30 people were in the audience because
goodness.
they simply couldn't get to the hall.
30 people.
But it was one of the most exciting concerts we've done because we just felt so free, and it was maybe the 4th of 5, and so we knew the repertoire inside out, and it was so freeing, that experience of...
Interesting.
Ooh,
Yeah.
close.
Yeah, you know, sometimes out of those critical moments come the most beautiful experiences,
Exactly.
of course.
And same question to you, highlights? Obviously with us.
Well, it's really funny because very often our concerts are highlights for me because I get to do all these Mozart pieces that I've done very often in my life for the first time with you guys, and it's such a treat. Doing today this 39th Symphony, realizing all those ideas that live in my head for a very long time of preparation, you know. This is already quite a highlight in general. It's funny that you mentioned the Alpen Symphony because it also felt like a really beautiful highlight, a sense of community with the orchestra.
Yeah.
And of course, during this first season together, we got to record Mozart's violin concertos, which has been, you know, a dream of mine for many, many years. So the fact that I got to do it with you, and it was, on the one hand, a very demanding and tense situation for me, you know, trying to realize those extraordinary pieces for violin, you know, and under the pressure of the microphones, and yet doing it with the most extraordinary amount of trust and Freude am Leben, you know,
Absolutely.
and am Musik.
Yeah.
This was very special. So there's a lot of highlights. I have to say, it's hard to find a concert that wasn't until now, and you know, I hope that it stays this way, because no matter the routine that we get into, it's quite magical, the connection that we have, and I feel like a boy in a candy shop, you know. It's everything is new and beautiful and special.
Yeah, and for us, we experience that energy as positively as you do.
Yeah,
because as you said, you know, we have this repetition in repertoire, and you've got a lot of people sitting in front of you who've been in the orchestra playing these pieces for 30, 35 years.
My goodness.
And to have this new energy come in is for us just
I have one more question.
So special.
In 15 years, you must have played basically almost all of Mozart's catalog. But is there one Mozart piece that you haven't played and that you would adore playing?
Oh God.
Maybe not. Maybe you've done everything.
Well, I'd like to be able to play the Mozart Requiem, but for some reason he didn't write any oboes.
Unless you want to switch to corno di bassetto or bassoon.
Would love to.
Yeah,
would absolutely love to.
Yeah, I understand.
Or trombone.
Yeah, exactly. That would be beautiful.
So that it's not a piece that is that I could play, but I would love to play it. But I think the opportunity is
of course, that will not.
Unless
you go to the choir.
Also an option. I don't think they'd really want me, to be honest. Roberto, you've brought us back safely.
Back, yeah.
It's funny, we talk about trust a lot in the orchestra, the trust that the orchestra musician needs to have for their chief conductor and vice versa. And
I'm very glad you've trusted me in this endeavor, because
in my life.
There was a couple moments where I thought, oh my goodness.
There was one emergency break that got
what
my
if
heart
my
pumping.
first oboe is now injured for weeks? So
we're here. We made it.
We're here.
Hey, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us very much. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we have to say bye.
I can say bye.
Bye everyone. Thank you for joining us today. See you at the concert on Saturday and Sunday morning.
Yeah, see you.